Hello, and welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony, and this episode it's a it's a super special edition, totally planned 100%, not a fly at the seat of our pants, improvised sort of situation in which my friend who normally joins me every single week is absent. We totally planned for him to be absent this week, so it was just me because I'm so comfortable doing all this. I'm really good at it. So you just stay tuned and you'll see some interesting. Oh God, I have issues. Hello, welcome to We Have Issues. I'm Anthony, and this week I am unfortunately by myself. I'm alone. It is a solo episode. I'm sorry, and you're welcome. And oh God, what are we doing here? We need an adult. But normally I'm joined by my best friend and partner, co-host, amazing human being, Stephen Todd, Stevie Wildcard. He is the one who does all of the art for comics that people hopefully love. This week he's sick, so everyone put all of your I don't like what kind of magic do you believe in? Comment below if you're like ooh, I talk to the a multi-dimensional giant ghost like Santa Claus in the sky and he grants my wishes if I say certain words. Like whatever spell that you can throw into the ether, into the universe and like to make him healthy, make that happen because I don't like doing this alone. It's we have issues, not me have issues. It's not me have issues. Although it is, if historically speaking, more about my issues because I am a mess. It's been a weird life, guys. It's been a weird life, and this has been an interesting, strange week for me. Just I guess every week is an interesting, strange week for me for some reason. Does anyone else feel like that? Do you just have like a cacophony of situations, like a cascade of chaos that just seems to occur around you as if you're some sort of like mythical NPC in every player character's life, or a player character that all NPCs are like, hey, you want a side quest? You want a side quest? You want a side quest? And I'm like, yes. The answer is yes. Just like Snoop Dogg's been living for the past 40 years, I want to live oops all side quests. But this week has been very much oops all side quests and very interesting, but also I've made some really cool, some interesting and great progress with my movie situation. So I'm very excited to share all that with you. So if you're joining us for the first time, sorry for the ramble. That's kind of part of what we do here. This is a show where my best friend and I, we get together every week and we talk about the random issues and obstacles and nonsense that life throws our way. Sometimes it's, devastating human existential dread sort of nonsense. And sometimes it is, sickness. And sometimes it is just absurd thoughts that we have. And, we all have that. We all share issues, and we're building this colony of similarly minded people, strange, creative weirdos who just need a place to shake the dust of the rest of society because it is a mess. I don't know if you've looked around. But I feel like we're essentially building a bunker. It's like a doomsday prepper situation, except for we're not going underground. We're we're just building a nice colony of decent individuals who don't want to like hate everything in the world and just look for things to like enjoy together while also just making things. And that's what we're doing. So we're trying to make comic books, and I really am. I want to make a dang movie, guys. I want to make a movie. And I'll tell you, this week, I had an interesting situation. I went to Gainesville with my family. We went to go visit my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and it was fun. It was so much fun. We went to Gainesville. We stayed in this this very small town where it was mostly rural, and we got to see all these chickens and ducks and like this very angry goose, and it was wonderful. It was terrifying because I was like, oh man, if they weren't in these pens right now, I feel like they would attack. I feel like it would be like I'm their enemy, although I don't even eat them. I do nothing negative to them except for look at them through the fence and go, "Can I touch your little beaks or whatever?" But on the way to Gainesville, we had it's like a 3.5, 4 hour drive from where we are, and for a while, I'm like, singing songs, I'm like talking to my wife, or spending time together, and then I was like, I have some ideas for this movie that I've been working on, so I'm gonna outline this thing. And I really like what I've come up with. I really like it. Okay, if you're hearing this idea for the first time, it's a story in which a police officer in a very small town, a place. It's sort of like a small island situation where there aren't any other police dispatchers. It's a very small force. They don't have a lot going on there, you know. Um, but he gets a call in the middle of the night from a man who claims to have just been bitten by a vampire. So he's talking to this man and he's trying to determine whether or not the man was actually bitten by a vampire. And if so, what sort of vampire it is. And then we also see the man's perspective where he was actually bitten by a vampire and the vampire is terrifying. So while we kind of have like these two stories going on where there's one guy who's kind of being playful with it and saying like, okay, well, fine, if he's a vampire, then can he get in your house? Like, what are the rules of this particular vampire? Does he sparkle? Is it sunny? Is it, like, blah, blah, blah. Just so he's going through and like Googling and trying to figure out what kind of vampire this is while simultaneously there is an actual victim who's been bit by this creature who's concerned that he's going to be turned into a bloodthirsty creature of the night and he's being stalked by this sort of like shark-esque vampire that's outside of his house. So through the story, you learn that this man is staying at his sister's house because he's recently had some trouble with drugs and such, and now he kind of wanted to go to like rehab, and he's sort of trying to rehabilitate himself in his sister's house, and his sister's kind enough to let him stay there. But at the moment, he's by himself, and he's just stuck in this house, and he doesn't want to make a mess of things. He doesn't want to screw this up. He doesn't want to be a monster and he's trying to fight off this demon that's trying to basically destroy his life. And meanwhile, there's this police officer who is not very helpful, but is kind of helpful, and they work through this problem together, and it's I think going to be a very funny, interesting take on vampires, and just it's like a fun, unique horror comedy. I hope I'm going to try. But anyway, I outlined this whole thing, and I was like, I don't want to do it. Like, I want to make it. I want to write it. I definitely want to write it. I would love to film it. I don't want to act in it, or at least I don't want to be the main guy in it. I don't like I do this. Like sometimes I wonder about that because I'm like, if anyone out there actually knows me, they know like I hate being in front of people. Like I can do this right now because it's literally just me in my office. Like this is my wife and I share an office. That's a painting that her father did. Isn't it wonderful? But, yeah, but like I can do this. I'm literally alone in this room. Just I can wave my arms. I can be whatever I want, and I feel comfortable and happy. I don't see the faces of the people as they're hitting the dislike button. If you don't like it, you just go away, and that's fine. But the thought of people seeing me like stresses me out, and I know at some point I'm going to have to watch this movie that I make with other people who are going to like have responses to this thing, and like although of course I'll still be emotionally attached to this thing as a whole, I don't feel like an actor. I've never been like it's not that I don't think I could. I feel like most people have the ability to some extent, but it's just like I don't feel like I'm right for this role for sure. And essentially, I don't want to be in front of the camera on my first movie. I'm scared. I'm scared. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything right behind the camera. So anyway, I was nervous about it and I was like, what do I do? I don't know. And I'm talking to my wife about it while I was, just outlining everything. And she was like, why don't you ask my brother if he'd, be interested? And I was like, I didn't even think of that. Like I so specifically have an absolute terror, like a fear of anyone else having like too much responsibility in one particular project that like they'll destroy it, that they'll just completely like just shake the foundation of a thing and like it will disappear because I've had it happen before in multiple things. I've had it happen in comic books and in short films that I've tried to make, and I've like as a much younger person, you know. But I've had those things happen where I'm like I'm counting all of my eggs are in someone else's basket and they're just like swinging it all like Willie Nelson. I'm just like crap. I don't you need to take care of my eggs. Anyway, I trust my brother-in-law and I love him and I think he'd be really good for this. He's very funny and you can see and like he has like a I don't know like he gave the speech at our wedding. He gave a speech and you could see he has like a deep sincerity in him while also being one of the funniest people I've ever met. So I think he might be perfect for this role. And I was just like, oh man, I can't believe it. So I asked him, and he was elated. He was just like, yeah, I would love to do that. And not only that, he knows other people who are interested in acting. So that just opens a door that I didn't know I had access to, that I'd never considered knocking on because I thought it was a brick wall, because like previously in my life, that's what it had been. So thanks to my wonderful wife, or thanks to my incredible wife, I have, a new perspective on this, and I was like, oh, there are people out there who are willing and able and capable, just and other synonyms for the same thing. No, but like people who want to help and can help and will actually show up. That's the thing. And so I don't know, it really like it meant a lot to me that he said yes and so enthusiastically. So it made me feel like I can freaking do this. We can do this. So yeah, so if you're interested in like that project and it's called How to Dispatch a Vampire so far, that's probably what it's going to be called, honestly, because like why not? Um, I might do like I might record myself writing it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I still have to I have to finish Deathless issue 4. I have to make sure I color at least, and then I'm gonna jump into writing this thing so I can make a dang movie. But I'm very excited. I can't wait, and I hope other people, excuse me, I hope other people are excited for this. Otherwise, guys, I had such a weird day. I had such a weird freaking day. I wonder if it's even going to sound weird or if it's just what humans experience every single day of their lives. You know when you're out in the world and you're like bringing your son to school and suddenly, right, when you're pulling into the school into the parent pickup line and there's only one other car around, it's the car that's in front of you, it just stops suddenly and you're like you have to stop as to not hit them. You kind of go like, oh crap, what happened? Why'd you stop so suddenly? You're so abrasive. Like, this is nuts. What's going on? There must be a fire. And then you see the car in front of you just slowly start swerving, and you're like, oh, someone's drunk dropping off their kid. This is great. This is great. You know how that happens? And then once again, they stop suddenly, and you see that it was a turtle in front of them, and that their response to seeing a turtle crossing a small street is to swerve awkwardly to try to, I don't know. What were they doing? What were they doing? Were they hoping to distract the turtle? Was it like a situation where they're terrified of turtles? So they're like serpentine motion, like a crocodile, like what are you doing? I don't know. So what I did, because I don't know about you, but what I do when I see a turtle cross the street is I put my car in park, and I put my hazard lights on, and I get out of my car and I go over to the turtle and I'm like, hey turtle, how's life? And it's like, I can't wait to fly. And I'm like, I know that's why you're here, because why else would you be in this metal death trap like what you've seen, Frogger? I know you have, turtle. I know you've heard the legends. So I take that turtle, I pick him up, and he does the thing where all turtles do, where he's like, "Oh God, I'm flying," and I pick him up, and he pees everywhere. Not on me because I know better because this is my first turtle race. Okay, I held him out, and I was like, "Fly, baby," and I did this. You have to do the whoosh when you save a turtle. So I put the turtle where he was trying to go. So I helped him, and I went to go back to my car, and the person in the car, the woman looked at me and she said, "Thanks, I can't touch them." And I was like, I could have used more information, like for my emotions, like I for my emotions, but I could have, okay, because there's a part of me that when she said that, I was like, not with that attitude. Like, what do you mean you couldn't? You could do this as soon as you saw a turtle. What you should have done was stop and said, "Hey, there's a turtle. Be careful. I'm allergic." Or, "Hey, I'm terrified of things with shells." Or, "Hey, my father was a Rokusaki." Or like, "Hey, hey, I'm a member of the Foot Clan and this is my sworn enemy, but I don't want to do battle in front of my children." Any of those would have been better than "I can't touch them." I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know what that means. All I heard when she said that was, "I'm lazy and I couldn't swerve around this turtle because I'm also a bad driver." It was so silly. It was so silly. Anyway, I'm assuming I'm gonna assume the best. She was actually Shredder in disguise, and she's like, if I touch them, I will be breaking my like vow of vengeance against them for all they've done to me, which is very little, but also ruined my Foot Clan, New York City, ruining plans. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what her situation was, but she did not like turtles. She didn't get to be interviewed and say, yeah, like, she likes turtles. So I was like, oh, that's probably the weirdest thing that's gonna happen today. I have this like weird interaction with a human and a turtle pee at like it's fine. I'm sure my day can only get better from here. I was wrong. I was so wrong. My day got weirder. It didn't get worse because no one else tried to pee on me, but I will say it got weirder. I got to work, and normally at work, I do a lot of graphic design stuff. I help with various packagings and moving things and in graphic design. Today, my boss was like, "Hey, Anthony, we need help with something," and I was like, I'll do it. Whatever, I'm here to help. That's what I try to be, you know? So I was like, I'm here. Yeah, sure. Whatever you need. And so my boss tells me there is there's a bathtub that he's trying to move into his bathroom. It's a custom cut, very, very, very expensive bathtub that weighs over 1,000 pounds. This thing, and like, not exaggerating, it was like, I don't know, 1,500 pounds. Like, it was so heavy. And he's like, they're having trouble getting it in there. We want to take people from the office. We're going to go there. We're going to try to, like help maneuver this thing into position. And I was like, I sure do look like someone who would be helpful in this situation. Okay, but here's the thing, guys. I'm a skinny person. It doesn't like, of course, I'm still also an able-bodied person who can help lift things. I've been a pallbearer. I've moved many dead weights in my life. I don't know if you've been watching this channel for long enough, you know I saved an old man once. I said like I have man, deadlifting that old man was insane. I've never felt anything like that as far as like just like the absolute dead weight beneath my arms as someone who doesn't exercise at all was unbelievable. So if you're out there and you're like, oh, I bet I could lift a very heavy like 300 pound dead weight elderly gentleman, good luck. I hope you can, but there's not a machine at the gym that like you let you practice that one specifically. I've checked. No, but anyway, so I go with him. It's the four of us get in the car, head over, and we see a situation that is unbelievable. It is a tub that it's the likes of which I've never seen. It looks as if like an elephant graveyard, like a dinosaur bone, structure was just carved out of ivory. Well, just as if someone took a mountain and they were like, "What if we put this in our bathroom?" And it's great. It's very interesting. It is the most unique bathtub I've ever seen in my entire life. That being said, there were, I think, 10 10 men in that room trying to lift and maneuver and figure this thing out. And it was terrifying. Every step of the way, like my brain just kept going, oh, he's putting his arm under there. There are an infinite number of realities in which that man has a chainsaw arm now. He is Ash. He is like, there's no chance he's coming out with those digits. So I was like, please let it not be this one. I don't want that to be my day. I've already been peed on by a turtle. I don't need to witness this crushing of the hand. Like I don't want to be here for his villain origin just in case he goes all like evil crow on us, you know? Like I don't want him to like look back and make eye contact as his arm is being crushed and him being like, "I want your arm." And I'm like, "I guess I have to give you my arm." You're looking in my eyes and that's the deal. I don't know. I don't know how deals work. I don't know. I don't know human math. So I'm there. I'm watching the man hopefully not get his arm crushed. I'm helping however I can, which was not very much. I don't know if you can imagine I mean it's a large bathroom, but it's a small area, you know what I mean? So it's only so many people can fit in this area, and I tried my best to do what I could to help. But you can only maneuver so many, like human bodies in that area. So it was like, oh God, like trying to think of ways to help, and I helped however I could, but it was just like such a mess. However, it was most of my workday. Most of my workday was just being there for moral support and trying to help, doing whatever I can, and it all worked out. Everything was fine. No one lost an arm. The bathtub got into place. Everything is okay. But it was such a strange day for me because like I normally I sit down at my desk and I just kind of like stare at the computer all day. Today, I think I stared at the computer for like an hour of my entire shift. But without Steven here, I feel like I'm just rambling on and there's no one here to actually make it interesting or give it substance or make my I was gonna say make my monster grow. See, this is why I need Steven, because I'm like a terrible Rita Repulsa. Like I need the Lord Zed with his like Oh my God, like rippling muscles. This isn't helping. This isn't helping. Steven, I need you. So if you're out there right now and you're like, why? What am I watching? It's someone who needs help. I have issues. My friend also has issues, but his issues kind of counterbalance my issues, and I don't ramble as much, or I ramble just as much, but it seems like it makes sense because someone's responding. Whereas now I'm just talking to myself. I'm actually talking to you. So yeah, it's been a weird week, but I feel like I've gotten a lot done. I outlined an entire freaking movie. I also, for the comic book fans out there, for people who subscribed and backed our Kickstarter, thank you. We are working really hard on Deathless issue 4. I was able to order all of the specialty boxes. We're going to have some left over because only like 2 people ordered them, but we're still printing like I think we said 9 or 10 of them. So if you're out there and you're like, I really want one of those boxes, you can contact us, and it's going to be the carousel box. It's a specialty thing that's we're never going to print these again. But I printed those. I also got some stickers made that I'm super freaking excited to see. As soon as they come, I'll show you guys. And I'll be like, look at the stickers because they look so cool. I can't wait. But I did that, and I also colored 2 full pages of the comic, so I'm very excited for that. We're getting really close, and my favorite part of the whole thing is coming up, which is lettering, because that's basically the end. I'm like, lettering the comic is kind of like my final draft of the book, where I get to tighten up the dialogue a little bit and like add little jokes, and just and just finish the page, just put the words on the thing and basically send it to a printer, and we're done. So I'm very excited for that. I got all of the cameo pictures to Steven that I possibly could. If you're out there and you haven't answered, if you're out there and you did back our last Kickstarter, but you haven't answered your survey, make sure you do that because it means everything to us. We really want to make sure we get the book in your hands, because we want, most important thing about all of this is just getting the people to read the books, right? I know it sounds silly, and people are probably like, well, as long as you funded the book or whatever, but like, I want people to enjoy the things we make. Like, I love making comics. I love writing. I love coming up with stories and like just creating these worlds. And I love working with my best friend, but I really want people to connect with this stuff. And I really want there to be a colony that we're building. We've been doing this show for 6 years now, and it's weird because we've seen the fluctuations. We've seen the whole hero's journey of like going from 0 views to hundreds of views to with the help of some ads and like promotions, thousands of views. We've had some episodes that have like, what was it, like 5,000, 15,000, like a lot of views. But then I was like, I don't want inflated views. I don't want like fake. I don't want fake connections. I want you, if you're watching this right now, to actually be a part of this, like care about our journey, and like let us care about yours, and tell us what you're going through and what you're working on, and like how we can help you, and and like what you think about our process and stuff. That isn't to say how you think we should do our process, but like like just that what you think of the whole thing, how you connect with the various things that we put out, both the podcast and the stories and the comics and the hopefully the music's coming. We have put out some like silly music videos and stuff, but we're going to be making a concept album soon based on my original Bullet and the Beast story. I'm going to be rewriting that entire thing once we're close to finishing Deathless issue 5, which is the final issue of Deathless. I'm very excited for freaking that. But yeah, so like coming up, we're finishing Deathless issue 4, and I'm going to work on how to dispatch a vampire. So if you are interested in following the journey of someone who's making a film for the first time, this is a good place to jump in. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment below, let us know that you're here, let us know what you're interested in, let us know what you're working on. But I should get out of here, and I've been rambling on enough. But I hope you join us next week when Steven's back and we get to actually share our issues together, and just have another good week, hopefully. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this journey and this silly nonsense. Thank you for caring about anything that any of us say at any point. Thank you for choosing us when you could have just mindlessly scrolled or watched some AI crap or whatever. Just thank you for being a part of what we're doing. It really does mean the world to us. But until next time, I'm Anthony, and this has been We Have Issues. Usually my friend says boom, but he's sick, so he doesn't get to say boom. So boo. kidding. Uh, is it weird? Aren't voices strange? Like, you ever hear someone speak and you're like, is that an affectation? Like, are they making that voice? I always wonder. Obviously everyone's making their voice, but like when someone's like, hey, this is what I sound like all the time. I'm like, how did you end up? How did you end up? Like, if I can do this, hello, how are you? The difference between this and this, just so wild. That like our bodies are capable of it consistently. And some people end up in one part of the spectrum is very odd. I mean, I find myself all over the weird, that spectrum as I'm just living my life. And I'm like, like I remember when I was younger, I talked in falsetto like half the time. I was like, oh my God, I can't listen. That's crazy. Oh my God. It was like, what are you doing? Like that. I started like, what? I become Morty, I guess. Um, Always have been. Ugh, life's weird. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for this movie. I really want to write this, but I can't. That's been frustrating. It's been frustrating, guys. But I think it's good. I think it's good for me. I think it's good to have like a thing just like cooking. I have like my brain's like, oh God, I'm firing. I'm just ready to get this out. I can't wait. But I have to color this comic book, so I can't like my fingers have to be actively doing a different thing. So my brain is like, story. I have a story for you. Um, so I'm excited for it. I'm really excited to like when I finally get to like open up those floodgates, like let the cat out of that bag and it's whatever, whatever cat. I don't know. I don't have a cat. I don't know. Um, I guess that they're like, why do people put cats in bags? What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, I guess that's what would it even do? The cat's out of the bag. It runs in one direction. Not everyone sees the cat. Where did that expression come from? That's so silly. I mean, I understand like a can of worms. It's like you can't how you gonna get those worms back in there? It's great, you stuff. I don't even know how they got them in there in the first place. How do they can worms? Why do they can worms? My God, I don't live in a place where you can't find where like you're gonna go just in the dirt. You just have worms. I guess you don't always have time for that, but you do have time to open a can. I'm gonna go see if I can buy some canned worms on Amazon. Can you do that? Is that a thing now, guys? Anyway, the show's been over. I don't know. Why am I rambling on? I'm just Ferris Buellering over here. All right, why are you letting me do this? Why are you letting me do this? I have to go I have to go color a thing so I can write a thing. Stop distracting me.